Senator Barrasso.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here today. Appreciate it. I want to start with China being labeled as a developing country. Today, I led a group of 21 senators, it's a bipartisan group, introducing legislation to end lending to China through the multilateral development banks. You know, since 2016, China has received about $23 billion from the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank. American taxpayers, we are the largest contributor to these banks. And it's completely unacceptable to me for Americans to be subsidizing loans to China. The administration continues to allow American taxpayer dollars to go to the Chinese Communist Party. I believe it needs to end. Not another dime should be approved. You know, these banks are designed to assist developing countries. And China is no longer a developing country. It was years and years ago when some of these international organizations were put into place, but the designation hasn't changed. You know, China is the second largest economy in the world, clearly has the financial resources, the access to capital to meet its own needs without assistance from the international community. But the Chinese Communist Party continues to exploit this outdated label as a developing country to get these preferential treatments and loans. It's as a developing country, quote, developing country, China also receives funds from international bodies, mostly paid for by American taxpayers. China just got $1.4 billion from the multilateral fund at the Montreal Protocol, which was from back in the 80s. So let's be clear, this money moving from America to China, to me, is making China stronger and America weaker. And, you know, and this is at the time when China is blatantly flying spy balloons over the nation, stealing intellectual property, sending fentanyl and other opioids into the U.S., increasing military aggression. You know, we've got the whole list. So it just seems that China is playing the international community as well as our own administration as fools. Their goal is simple. They want to be the world dominant power. So do you believe that China still qualifies as a developing country? And, you know, why should American taxpayers be supporting lending and financial assistance that goes to China?
Senator, I very much appreciate the point. I wanted on that specific question, I really have to defer to my colleagues at the Treasury Department. What I can tell you is this: I certainly see, as a general matter, China continuing to raise the banner of developing country in a variety of places that doesn't reflect the reality. Another part of this that I think is very important is on debt relief, where countries around the world that turn out to owe a lot of money principally to China and then desperately need relief. We're also a creditor. Countries in Europe are creditors, and elsewhere, the Chinese continue to insist on being treated differently. In the technical parlance, not taking the same haircut that everyone else is willing to take. That's unsustainable. Yeah. And in fact, in Sri Lanka recently, where we needed to help Sri Lanka get out of the devastating debt situation it was in, we came together and insisted that no one else would provide the relief unless China similarly treated its debt. So I agree with you that these are important things we have to work out. On the specific question, though, I really have to defer to the Treasury Department.
Yeah, because we are giving subsidized loans to a country that then turns around and can use this money to engage in predatory lending to developing nations, as you've described. Mm-hmm.